morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics of the day and the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense and just the right amount of sarcasm by an expert in financial literacy. And hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Tuesday, July 12th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, True Social, all those social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse and also by searching Money Chat Now. So make sure you connect to us on Money Chat Now as well. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching the show online, hit that like button. Everybody out there, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. Also hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. By the way, my personal page, I'm not allowed to stream to it anymore because Facebook shut me down. So if you're watching this, make sure you watch it on the Money Chat Now page on Facebook or the Money Chat Now YouTube channel or any of the other channels, but you can't watch it on my personal page. So if you're missing it there, it's because Facebook has decided to put me in Facebook jail again. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, but also, please leave comments. Please say hi so I know you're watching. By the way, got a couple of people out there like Mark and Jane and Herb. Oh, that's the Lobster Man. Oh, wow. I haven't seen Lobster Man in a long time. We got James and we got Lewis. Thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys. And also, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard. So please go to the Money Chat Now page, like it, comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now, of course, is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. Hey, I also want to remind you that today is Interview Tuesday. For our online audience, each Tuesday we bring you a great interview with interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. By the way, if you want to be a guest on our show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know why you want to be interviewed. By the way, today we have Jose Garcia. Jose is known as the mobile home king, and he has become a millionaire basically on mobile home investing. So you definitely want to stay tuned to this interview after the main show. You definitely want to stay tuned to it. It's going to be a really great thing. Hey, also we got Clyde saying hi on LinkedIn. Thanks so much, Clyde. I totally appreciate you. All right, on the show today, we're going to be talking about the recap and the Twitter update all at once. We're going to be talking about home buyer cancellations. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin fund bankruptcies. And of course, as you know, it is Interview Tuesday. So we'll be seeing what comes up on an interview with Jose Garcia. You'll really enjoy it. All right, let's talk about what happened yesterday. So yesterday, the day played out just as I expected. I even mentioned the fact that I thought the worst of the day would be about 200 points down. So if you remember yesterday at the end of the show, I said it's going to be the worst it's going to be is 200 points down, but it'll probably go up from there. So this is kind of interesting because the Dow actually moved between being down 200 points and being up as much as 100 points, but it still closed down 164 points. So my prediction was dead on. The S&P closed down 45 points, and the NASDAQ was crushed, however, as it closed 263 points down. This was rough. Of course, Twitter was hit pretty hard yesterday, and of course it was the biggest loser of the day as it moved down over 11% on the news that Musk sent the termination letter ending the deal and his talks with the company. Look, I really feel sorry for the people who bought Twitter at 50, expecting to make a quick return of $4.30. It's going to be ugly, and even ugly for Twitter and both Musk. In fact, an article I read yesterday described 8 possible scenarios of this deal. And as you know, Musk has a $1 billion breakup fee that he may be required to pay if he can't prove material misrepresentation. So part of the problem with this scenario is that Twitter ends up the loser because the shareholders miss out on the $54.20 value that the board agreed to sell the company for. Another scenario, which is probably the least likely of all scenarios, is that Musk gets sued by Twitter and loses and is forced to buy the company at $54.20. All of that makes absolutely no sense. The attorneys for Twitter would have to argue that Musk committed fraud when he offered to buy the company, and that would be very difficult. And even if they could prove it, how do you actually make someone buy something that they don't want, especially for $44 billion? You know, as far as I know, there is no, Twitter jail, or not buying Twitter jail. A more likely scenario would be that Twitter sues for damages and wins that lawsuit. Now, the damages could even be the difference between the $54.20 a share and the current price it falls to in the interim. It could be that Musk has to pay half the price he was expected to pay as a penalty. Of course, the next scenario is that Musk settles this with Twitter. Now, remember that Musk is already obligated, or may be obligated, to pay the $1 billion breakup fee, which means that if he settles, it would probably be a number between $1 billion and the possible half value of about $22 billion as a settlement. Now, I realize that Musk is very, very wealthy, but $22 billion is still going to hurt. At least, definitely his ego, for sure. Of course, it could go bad for Twitter in court, and Musk prevails by proving that the material misrepresentation of the fake users is the problem. This would be really bad for Twitter in two ways. Not only would they get nothing, but Musk has proved there's many more fake accounts. This would really tank the share price. So it's going to be pretty bad for Twitter if that happens. Of course, the wild card is that Musk actually comes back and says, I'll buy it. Certainly a possibility. This possible scenario could be certainly two possibilities as well. Once he can always buy it for the $54.20 a share that he agreed to, or another scenario is that he renegotiates the price and buys it for a lower price. You ever read Trump's book, The Art of the Deal? And he says in it, everything is negotiable and everything is renegotiable? Well, that's pretty much what's going on here, or possibly what's going on here. The final scenario is that a white knight comes in and scoops up Twitter. This would be great for Musk, and maybe even Twitter, but if that white knight is a liberal media type, free speech is now doomed forever. So those are the possible scenarios, and we're definitely going to see how it plays out in the next few months. Yesterday I said I was going to sell my Twitter, but I actually didn't sell it. I instead sold the 33 strike price covered call for $5 each into September, and I kept the stock. So as long as the stock stays above 27 till mid-September, I actually make more money on the stock covered calls than I make, trying to make that crappy stock work. If you play it right, you can actually do really, really well. Of course, another article came out after the market closed entitled, Twitter says Musk's request to terminate the deal is invalid. It's like a soap opera. In this article, the attorney for William Savitt argued in a letter to the attorneys for Musk by stating Twitter has breached none of its obligations under the agreement. Savitt also wrote that Twitter has upheld all of his obligations and that the agreement remains in effect. As it has done, Twitter will continue to provide information reasonably requested by Mr. Musk under the agreement and to diligently take all measures required to close the transaction. This is basically what he wrote, right? So now we have the other side striking back already. All we need now is a positive tweet from Musk saying that he's staying in the game and we are in business. Wait for it. I'm telling you, it's coming. Twitter did not move much on the retort from Twitter, and basically the attorney's attorney. And this morning it kind of moved down just a little bit, but not much. All right, so that's the Twitter saga. And if you want to continue watching the Twitter saga, it's kind of fun. I'm not quite sure it's a good play. If you're in it, you might want to either sell the covered calls or just sell it. If you're not in it, just stay away. It's not a great play. I definitely would stay away from it. All right, let's get back to the rest of the market yesterday, by the way. Zoom was also down about 11% when a report saying that most companies are ending all at-home work. Zoom benefited, as you know, from the scamdemic, and now it's time for the millennials and Gen Xers to go back to work. They may actually have to wear something besides sweatpants when they go back to work now. So it may actually be time to invest in clothing companies again. I know Gap is being beat up by their CFO or CEO leaving. I can't remember which. By the way, Meta was also beat up again yesterday. And basically, I think it was because people found out that I was in Facebook jail. So hundreds of thousands of users closed all their accounts. All right. Well, not really. That's not what happened. But Meta did receive a downgrade by a major investment firm. Their concern was that Meta was risking too much money on the metaverse. And when you factor in the slowing revenue because of many factors like the Apple privacy and possible recession, the investors feel this company may have a mess on their hands. I'm looking forward to the article in about a year where Zuckerberg releases himself from the metaverse and changes the hardware into something more useful. I don't know, wait for it. It's definitely going to happen because the only thing the shareholders will be happy with at that time is basically getting rid of the metaverse. A few other good stocks just dropped as the rest took them down. I still think I have a good chance of increasing in stock prices over the next few weeks with earnings seasons, but it's getting weird. It's getting definitely weird. All right, let's see how it all plays out. Let's see how the day looks so far. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow is now down about 190 points. The S&P is down 10. But the NASDAQ is moving up, so that's pretty good. The NASDAQ is moving up. All right, let's take a break here, and when we get back, we're going to be discussing crypto fund bankruptcies. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You've thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask one of your burning questions to the stock option sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call 866-424-2829 for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes, or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited. So what are you waiting for? Call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn how to make more money and also enjoy the entertainment. Hit that like button. So everybody out there who's watching, please hit the like button. Let me know you're enjoying the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I'll also try to say hi to everybody. So it looks like we got a couple of people joining us. We got Tommy joining us, and Joe joining us, and Peter joining us, and Clyde joining us. I think that's great. And also Lewis and James, thank you so much. And Jane, I also appreciate you guys. I always appreciate you guys watching, and I always appreciate you guys coming in and saying hi. All right, so far we've been discussing the Twitter update, and Musk is, I don't know, Musk is Musk, whatever. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about home buyer cancellations. We're going to be talking about a Bitcoin fund bankruptcy, and don't forget, of course, it's Interview Tuesday, and then we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Come on, everybody. Come on, Tommy and Joe and Herb and Peter. Hit that like button. Let everybody know you're watching the show. Hit the share button. And don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And, of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. And also look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home. And let me know what you think of the show. All right, before we get started into the second half, by the way, have you guys ordered my new book yet? Go to wherever fine books are sold. And you can look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. You can get it on Kindle or Nook right now. And the physical book will be there, I don't know, in about a week or so. So definitely order the book. And, of course, if you've already ordered the book and read it, or on Kindle or Nook or whatever, please leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. All right, I also want to remind you that today is Interview Tuesday for our online audience only. Each Tuesday, we plan to bring you a great interview with interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. And, of course, if you'd like to be a guest on this show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's right. If you're watching right now and you think you've got a good product or a good story to talk about, go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know why you want to be interviewed, and of course we will take it into consideration. Today we have Jose Garcia. Jose is known as the Mobile Home King, and he has become a millionaire investing in mobile homes. So stay tuned for this interview. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about, basically, I don't know, home buyer cancellations. Well, we all know it's coming, the higher interest rates, the fears of inflation, and a recession, and it's starting to scare people to the point that they're afraid of everything. Well, home buyers are definitely among this group, and they are scared people. In a report released recently, it showed that sale agreements on existing homes canceled last month was just under 15% of all homes that went under contract. 15% basically of all deals under contract canceled or they walked away from the contract. Look, as someone who's both a real estate broker and a real estate investor, I can understand how it's possible without a penalty for the buyer. Most contracts have a few different types of cancellation clauses, but one of the simplest that's being used this year is the mortgage rate clause. In most contracts, you have a clause that allows you to cancel if your mortgage rate goes above a certain predetermined percentage. Last year's buyers had that percentage at around 4.5%. This year it might be 5% or 6%, but if the published rate is higher, the buyer can cancel the agreement of sale without penalty. So I'm guessing that many of these cancellations are using this clause alone. The 15% cancellation rate is about the same cancellation rate it was in 2020 of March, when the scamdemic closed everything down. So the cancellation rate, by the way, was about 11% last year. So technically, it really isn't all that bad, at least not yet. The other problem is that inventory is slowly creeping up. Buyers are seeing the once red-hot market turn around quickly and dramatically. They may no longer see the urgency in bidding for a home, or bidding up a home, I should say, that they feel might depreciate in the coming year. They are simply afraid that the home they buy today won't be worth the price they pay for it next year. Home builders are also seeing higher cancellation rates. Cancellations in May for new home buyers, jumped to 9.3% in a survey of builders. That compares with the 6.6% in May of 2021. So I've noticed that when I'm talking to building reps, they're definitely getting a bit nervous. So these are basically the people who sit in the trailers and sell the homes. They're getting nervous. The homes which were once selling out as soon as the sales trailer arrived are no longer selling quickly, and lots of them are not even selling at all. Lanier, one of the greatest, or should say greatest, but one of the nation's largest home builders, said in its most recent quarter, in its earnings report, that its cancellation rate increased to about 11.8%. But here's the interesting thing. It was still below the long-term historical average. Look, I'm asked many times if now is the time to buy a house or wait. Here's the simple answer. If this is a house you're going to be living in and you like it and you can see yourself living there for the next 7 to 10 years, just buy it. As long as you can afford it, just buy it. Stop thinking the home you're living in is an investment. It isn't. An investment has a different ideology. In an investment, if the numbers make sense and you make a profit either in the resale or the rental strategy, then it's maybe a good property to buy. Deals are always out there. Look, I'm buying a property this week. I got a deal on it. Deals are always out there, and homes are always being sold. And if it's the right for you, buy it. It's always a good time to buy real estate. Don't make a mistake. It's always a good time to buy real estate. So buy real estate whenever you can, as long as it makes sense. All right, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin and what's going on with Bitcoin and the funds that are out there. Look, with all the hype of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, many hedge funds opened with the promise to make their investors large returns. When Bitcoin hit the 60,000-ish numbers, everyone thought the momentum would continue, and as we know, it fell like a lead balloon. A large hedge fund named Three Arrows Capital managed about $10 billion in assets, making it one of the most prominent crypto hedge funds in the world. Now the firm, which is also known as 3AC, is headed to bankruptcy court after the plunge in cryptocurrency prices. And basically, it was a particularly risky trading strategy, and it caused a wipeout of all the assets and leaving it unable to repay lenders. Three Arrows' strategy involved borrowing money from across the industry and then turning around and investing that capital in other, often newer crypto projects. So they were basically investing in all these newer crypto projects. The firm had been around for a decade, which helped give the founders Zhu Su and Kyle Davies a measure of credibility in an industry populated by newbies. Zhu also co-hosted a popular podcast on crypto. I'm actually wondering if that podcast is still on. All this credibility made it easy for them to lure in investors. By the way, I don't think it was nefarious. However, I just think it turned really, really bad for these guys, and that's basically what happened. However, the founders have been very quiet. Court documents show that the lawyers representing 3AC's creditors claim that Zhu and Davies have not yet begun to cooperate with them in any meaningful manner. The filing also alleges that the liquidation process hasn't even started, meaning there's no cash to pay back the company's lenders. The fall of Three Arrows can be traced to the collapse of May's Terra USD. I don't know if you guys remember this, but basically what happened, it was a US dollar pegged stablecoin, and it crashed. And basically, it was called a stablecoin because it was supposed to trade 1-for-1 for the US dollar. Technological mechanisms were supposed to be put in place that made this stablecoin mimic the price of the dollar. Look, I'm no crypto expert, but I really can't explain how it worked. But the reality was it definitely failed to maintain the 1-to-1 ratio. In fact, the Terra USD went down to about 0. This was the beginning of the end for many funds, including the 3 Arrow Fund. The problem is that the 3 Arrow Fund was also tied to several other crypto funds as well, and they collapsed. I remember in November and December reading about companies, some major companies who were cash heavy, moving that cash into funds like this one for what they considered a safe place for money that promised big returns. The bankruptcy of the hedge funds looked like 3 Arrow is causing a ripple effect in the crypto hedge fund market. It was like a bank run. When investors had their money in their funds and they just wanted to basically get out whatever money they could before the funds went to 0. And this was causing other funds to crash as well. It's a small list of some of the funds affected by the nightmare, including Voyager, BlockFi, BitMEX, FTX, and there are many other funds that either closed or collapsed, and some of them aren't going to be launched because some were going to be launched. I'm still convinced that the reason the idea of Bitcoin is failing is because too many programmers and too many crypto companies wannabes destroyed the concept. Bitcoin was supposed to replace the fiat currency and make a simple monetary world. I don't know if you know, but the last count, there was over 19,000 cryptocurrencies and only 180 fiat currencies. You're just making the problem worse, but not better. Now, listen up, guys, because here's something to ponder. Did you know that the average fiat currency lasts about 35 years? Do you know why fiat currencies fail? They fail because of hyperinflation. Maybe Powell and the Fed are smarter than we give them credit for by doing all they can to stop inflation. Could the US dollar be on the brink of collapse? Well, the US officially went to a fiat currency in 1971. So the math says we are 15 years past the average collapse point. In fact, we are 5 years to the average point of a standard nation collapsing. So we got fiat currency collapsing and the nation collapsing all together. Hey, have a great day, right? All right, look, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Start hoarding gold, start hoarding silver, and of course, ammo, because it's going to get interesting in the next few years. All right, let's take a break here while I go lock the doors. See you guys in a minute. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is because everything you think you know about money is wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. By the way, did you guys order the book yet? Come on, order the book. Come on, all you guys watching, if you haven't ordered the book yet, go to barnesandnoble.com and order that book. What are you waiting for? All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the recap and the Twitter update, and that's interesting. I don't know what to tell you. All right, we also talked about how houses are being canceled, and whatever. It's going to be an interesting thing, and also, of course, we talked about Bitcoin funds going bankrupt. Coming up, we have today's picks and plays, but did you guys hit that like button? Come on, all you guys. Everybody right now, take a moment, hit the like button, hit that share button as well, and let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information, and you can also share it on your page or in groups. So I've seen a few of you guys share it on your page. Share it in some groups. Share it in some investment groups or real estate groups or anything that you feel might benefit from knowing this information. Hey, you can also leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and please do that. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio AM, please set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. I also want to remind you that for our online audience, today is Interview Tuesday. And each Tuesday, we always bring you something interesting. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. And today, of course, we have Jose Garcia. And Jose is known as the mobile home king. And he's become a millionaire investing in mobile homes. Take a look at this. This is a great video, actually. It's a great interview, I should say. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. Yesterday played out exactly as I expected. But I got to tell you, today's scaring me a bit. It doesn't seem like the investors are impressed with the fact that earnings season is upon us. I've also said that the max in the market would be 31,000, and that seems to be where it goes. All right, the fear in the market right now is high. Investors are moving their money to dividend-paying stocks, even as earnings estimates have been lowered on all major sectors. Investors are calling it an earnings recession. Ooh. An earnings recession, oh no. So most investors feel that there may be major misses in earnings reports. In my opinion, there won't be major misses, but it's likely the stocks are going to move down after earnings either way. I still like the idea of playing options, not stocks, into earnings and selling the day before. And I got to tell you, all right, let's take a quick look at what's going on over here in the market. Right now we have the futures. The Dow is down 228. We have the S&P down almost 17, and the NASDAQ is still up. It's not as up as it was before, but it's not down. It was down earlier. All right, so let's talk about crypto. Crypto, once again, the Bitcoin is below 19,000 once again. It's just the way it is. And of course we have Ethereum. Take a quick look. We have Ethereum is down to right around 1,000 again. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can actually maintain it, and what will happen with that, I don't know. All right, look, gold and silver are also dropping and dropping and dropping, and of course the bond market is down below 3 still, and that might be a good thing. I don't know. Oil is actually down below 100. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually do pretty well. I don't know. I think maybe we'll get down to average gas prices, moving down to maybe less than 4.5, but right now they're still way above 4.5. All right, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM. I want to thank you all for listening and watching online. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. I am also the CEO of Investor Schooling. And by the way, if you want to contact me directly, you can go to contactlarry.com. That's contactlarry.com. So for all you guys watching, don't forget to hang out and watch the interview, and make it a profitable day. I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to today's Money Chat Now interview. In this portion of the show, I take the opportunity to interview interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, and let us know why you want to be interviewed, and I'm sure we can make that happen. All right, let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. My guest is a mobile home millionaire, investor, coach, and mentor. He's been investing in trailer parks and mobile homes for about 7 years. He primarily works in the Southeast United States, but has been expanding throughout the country. His story starts out with a single mobile home investment, and he's reached over 400 plus profitable mobile home transactions. Amazing, right? In this interview, he will give you the basics about mobile home investing, and then you can learn about how he can help you with a step-by-step method of how to profit with a recession-proof asset such as mobile homes and trailer parks. Let me introduce you to my guest, Jose Garcia. What's going on, Jose?
Larry, yes, sir. Great. Thank you for having me.
You excited, man?
Always
right,
excited.
cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you got to tell me about something here, right? So you invest in mobile home parks? How do people, not parks, you do the homes, actually, not the parks, correct? So you just do the homes.
So we're getting into parks now more so, yes, but it's been more so just the individual mobile home.
So individual mobile homes. So talk to me about that. So you bought your first mobile home, and tell me about that transaction.
So early on, I wanted to be the next biggest real estate investor. Somewhere in there, I saw maybe some awesome TV show and thought I can do that as well. I knew little about real estate or connections, networking, the whole criteria. So I stumbled up on mobile homes where somebody suggested basically go do it on mobile homes. It's a lot cheaper to do so. I took that up on. I started browsing, searching for that, and stumbled upon my first mobile home that came in. That first mobile home taught me more about the real estate in mobile homes than any other transaction I've ever done. It ended up me having to rehab it, probably 90% of it myself. Me getting in there, yes, nailing hammers and getting it done, getting it ready. I wanted to be a landlord early on. I still don't know why. Definitely not a bad decision, but I wanted to be a
Sure.
landlord. So I went in there, rehabbed the mobile home, got it to what I thought was livable, beautiful, presentable, and I put it on the market. It was a lot of headaches, a lot of what ifs, a lot of doubts, but we got it done. 2 weeks after that, we had a family that came through and said, "Yes, we like it. We like to rent it out." So, if I say that because I think so many times we doubt ourselves. So many things we're doing, we're doubting, and you
Oh,
reach out
sure.
to people, they have their own what ifs. That don't make it any easier, but we got it done. The people took it, they started renting it out, and it was that first lot that went out receiving that deposit. Oh, this actually works. So from there, we venture on to more and more, started doing more rentals, and just kind of created and gained from it.
All right. So let's start out with this. So you put what did you do? You put out an ad to buy a mobile home park. That's how it started, correct?
I'm sorry.
You were looking to buy a mobile home. So how did you find the first mobile home? You did it with an ad?
So no, no. So I started driving around looking for mobile home parks. We see that we all know that that's where mobile homes are right, is mobile home
Sure. Yeah,
parks,
sure.
trailer parks, communities. And I just started Googling numbers, just browsing and seeing what kind of numbers I could find and calling park owners, park managers. Do you have any mobile homes you'd like to sell? Terrible. I like to go back and hear what I was saying because I'm sure it was all wrong. But after many, many no's, I got a park owner that said, sure, come by. I think there's a couple that are just sitting. Happy to sell them to you.
So he gets a lot rent, and while they're empty, he gets no lot rent. So I assume
Mhm.
you agreed to pay the lot rent by buying the mobile home, so it was to his advantage.
Absolutely. That's where it makes it a win-win situation is that, a park does not make a lot rent, does not profit from a mobile home that's just in there vacant. So, it profits for us to come in and take that mobile home, we buy it from them, and we immediately start paying low rent while we're rehab.
That's pretty wild. So you're paying a lot of rent, so he's happy. He also has this empty mobile home
Mhm.
that he that so he owned the home. Is that what happened, or the prior tenant owned the home?
So he owned these 2 units that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes, many times previous residents own them. So just one more thing, we usually come in and help out as well.
So when you renovated it, how much did it cost you to renovate it?
I think we were right at 10,000 on the first one.
Okay. Now, did that also include the purchase?
That did include the purchase.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, what are you getting in rent? What were you getting in rent? I should say.
On that one, we ended up renting it for 650. You have to
Wow.
deduct the lot rent.
So 650 plus the lot rent, or six
Minus,
fifty?
minus. So you have to deduct the lot rent.
So okay. So what was
So
your net?
on average, we were getting around 350 a month.
That's not bad for a $10,000 investment. That's actually pretty
Now,
good. In 3 years, you made all your money back. That's impressive. So now So now you started doing hundreds. You've done hundreds of these, and they've all basically been the same thing. You call park owners and you say, "Hey, do you have any empty mobile homes that you want that you could sell to you?" Is that what your business model is now?
so we've grown water business then since 10 rentals that we ended up doing that first year. We moved on to selling them. At that point, we wanted to also flip some. We also sell them with financing. So we do create notes, we finance. We are the bank folks at this point. We wholesale, we move them, we demo any and everything you can think of with the mobile home, we're doing it. We've even introduced Airbnb in some of the mobile
Wow,
homes parks that we're doing. Some mobile homes now, Section 8, Veteran 8 sections. We're trying to get more and more affordability
that's
because that's what
fantastic.
mobile homes are at the end of the day, affordable housing. So since then, I coach and mentor. So our credibility, I like to say, has built up quite a bit. Getting into new parks, connecting with new park owners is a lot easier. It went from, yeah, I may have one mobile home for sale you can have or you can take or whatever it may be to now, hey, they're calling me saying, I have 15 vacant mobile homes. Can you help us out
Wow,
with that?
wow. So yeah,
So,
so basically
you,
they're your first call. They're thinking, "Hey, I got these empty mobile homes. Let's have Jose come in and buy them and pay me my lot rent." That's fantastic.
you,
That's brilliant. So do you make a deal with them where you don't pay the lot rent for a certain amount of months while you renovate the home?
So yes, that's definitely something we stepped up now. A good example of that right now is We have a park that exactly that's what came in was 15 mobile homes. It was 19 total. 4 got to be demo. But out of the 15, we'll go ahead and take them. We'll set a price for all 15 at this amount agreed upon. But part of that agreement also is lot rent for 9 days, for 3 months. Give us a chance to bring myself in here or our contractors, or if we have some of our student investors that we can bring in here also, we all get 3 months before we have to start paying lot rent.
That's fascinating. I would imagine it's you're buying these things really cheap.
Very, yeah. And we have to explain, coach, that to them and say, because we do have some park owners that come to us and, whoa, I want 10,000 for this mobile home. I want, so I like to call it, we bring them back to earth. Look, it's costing you money to have this mobile home here now. So, we coming in here and taking something that's been sitting here for 2 years, don't try to make your profit off selling a mobile home. Think of years to come making lot rent on top.
Right. How many units do you have right now that are rented? Can you say? Can you count them?
I like to have 100 in a portfolio.
Okay.
So my go to sleep at night comfortably, passive income.
That's fantastic. Yeah, especially even $200 or $300 a month each. That is phenomenal. So why would you think that mobile home investing would make sense to anyone else?
Absolutely. And we do have a lot of real estate investors that convert into mobile homes, or at least add it to. And it's always the same: low risk, low entry, high reward.
Sure.
You cannot get in any type of housing and be all in for under 10,000 and start collecting, like you said, $200-300 a month. Every month.
I got some that I collect $200-300 a month on that cost me $100 grand, $200 grand. So I know exactly what you mean. And when I say collecting, I mean that's my net. So you're putting a lot less money. It's really very brilliant. I love it. So why do you think like other people don't do mobile homes? It seems like it's become a fad that everybody's been doing it all of a sudden. Now you've been doing it right before the fad, but I see people, I want to own a mobile home park, and they don't know much about it. But why do you think the real reason is that they don't do it?
Yeah, no, Def. 7 years ago when I got started, it seemed like I was speaking alien to people. I would try to speak about it, it was over the head kind of thing, or the stigma. So I think the majority of the reason a lot of people don't know about the hidden side to real estate, where they can succeed in, and a lot of it has to do with the whole there's a stigma. A lot more people have gotten into mobile home investing. I would say, obviously, because I contribute to that, but it's still that same thought of trailer mobile home kind of stigma behind. I say it keeps the market as congested as it can get.
So what do generally people think about mobile homes? The stigma, what?
Ew, it's mobile home.
What was that? What was it?
The stigma. It's a mobile.
Ew, it's a mobile home. Yeah, right.
That's
exactly.
typically the reaction.
Right.
Yeah, and again, it takes coaching them, because yes, it is mobile home. Yes, a different type of clientele. But let's move that aside for a minute and let's talk numbers. Let's talk return on your investments. When we start breaking these numbers, all in, this is where you're at. All in, this is what you get back. Oh, suddenly not so bad of an investment.
No, it's great. It sounds like the numbers sound fantastic to me. I may have to, when we're done with this interview, I may have to buy a couple of mobile homes from you.
Absolutely.
So let's do this real quick. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to see Jose again, and we're going to talk to him about some of the things that you can do to get started in the mobile home park business. So let's take a break. We'll see you in about a minute. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we are interviewing Jose Garcia about mobile homes. It's amazing. It's actually pretty fascinating. So let's get back into it, Jose. So I have a question for you real quick. I understand you have a book coming out too. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We do, yes, sir. After many years of investing, I realized it was wise to go ahead and create a book. That's something I've been trying to do for a while. But Trailer Park King, and the goal is to try to make it as simple as we can. Everything together too as to how we got started into mobile home investing and how can other people do the same thing.
It just sounds so simple. What do you need a book for? You buy it a home, you fix it, you rent it.
Pretty much.
I knew I'd get
Keep it
I knew
simple.
I'd get a chuckle out of you on that one.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's things to learn. As with any other investment that you do, it's you, you, you can read so much, you can learn so much, but it's one of those things that I'm adding into a lot of things. Once I got there in the field, and I call it the oh my gosh kind of moments. Those are the real teachers. Those are the ones that taught me a lot more how to obviously overcome and look forward on those to come. So the book is going to narrow a lot more into specifics as to what you can expect, certain things you're going to encounter, and again, the steps, fundamentals of how
Very
to
nice.
invest in mobile homes.
So I've written 4 full books and some ebooks. So this is your first book, right? So
First book, yes, sir.
I'm going to give you some advice. You ready? Just keep writing, because sometimes it's really challenging, and then you just keep going, and you'll get it done. All right, that's cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'd like to see it. I'm assuming I'm going to get an autographed copy, of course, right?
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I'll trade you my autographed copy for my book, my latest book, Money Hacks, for your book. All right. So what do you think? Do you think that the need for mobile homes is going to go up, going to go down? I mean, I understand that a lot of counties or places really want the mobile homes to go away.
hmm Well, as most of us are familiar, I think now, America has a serious shortage of housing.
Sure.
And when it comes to affordability housing, it is that much more and growing. Mobile homes aren't going anywhere. It is a serious demand, and it's not so much mobile homes, but affordability housing. That's what mobile homes are. With the whole stigma, it continues. Yes, I will say that a lot of counties, they're happy to see them. Anytime we're getting ready to move a mobile home off one county and take it to another one, for whatever reason, it is almost and always, oh, good, I'm glad you're getting that mobile home out of here. It's almost like they're happy to see it gone. The
Right,
county
right.
where they come in, they may not be so crazy about something coming in. But again, homes, there is a serious need for affordability housing, and months and years to come, I think it's something that's going to continue to grow.
All right. So you think it's going to grow because of what's going on? Like we have a recession that's probably coming up too. So how do you think that's going to affect your rental price? You think it's going to go up or down?
Oh, well, I think it's definitely going to be something that we're going to see an increase all around. Everybody needs somewhere to live. They need a
Right.
place to be, and it's mobile home trailer parks and communities. This is recessions, and when we see a serious increase of.
So I just want to get back to it real quick. So your model is you buy the mobile home and then you renovate it. So
Mhm.
what if somebody challenges you? Fine. I mean, these things are, these things are houses on wheels. They have chassis. They have metal at the bottom that rots out. Have you had to fix any of that stuff?
No, and that I think is more so something that most people think happens. I mean, the metal doesn't really damage. We've never had something that we've had to completely redo like that. Typically, when we rehab a mobile home, it's the typical cosmetics. If a roof needs to be redone, we redo that. The inside, walls, painting, carpet, all the above. It's almost it's the same thing to a house, just in a different structure. I mean, obviously we don't rehab something that should be demoed because we do that as well. There's certain homes I like to think I can rehab everything, but there are certain mobile homes that from a return on your investment and from a number standpoint, let's go ahead and burn this one down if you will, and let's bring a different one in.
So have you done that? Have you actually bought one and go, you know what, this was a mistake?
Oh, many. Yeah, yeah. Those are the ones that taught me the biggest lessons. But we've had some. I like to say they're all wins, but it's not. It's the losses that teach us, how to get better. And we bought some that we had no business taking on.
So you buy it. So now you own it and you're paying a lot rent. And do you sign a contract with the owner of how much lot rent you're going to pay before you get to back out?
Absolutely. And I mean, to something like that, to extend more is, if you buy a wrong deal, maybe your exit strategy needs to think. So something that maybe we're a lot more money into it, well, it was going to be a flip, but if we flip it, we're probably just going to be breaking even or lose some. So why not instead let's rent it out for 2, 3 years, and then we'll think about selling it. So there's ways to still profit with that. But yes, absolutely. I would say for anybody getting into mobile home investing, don't just start buying without having some type of contract in writing with the park owner, park manager stating specifics.
Right. So, and I guess what my concern would be is if I bought a trailer that was in bad shape and I didn't realize how bad it was, and I just bought it, I gave the guy whatever, even $500 for it, doesn't even matter. But now I'm locked into $400 a month lot rent for a certain period of time,
Mhm.
and I can't fix that trailer. I either got to replace that trailer, I got to walk away from the deal, or I have to, or But no matter what I do, I'm locked in to paying that lot rent for a certain amount of time. So I mean, is this? I mean, look, you got 400 units, or you've gone through 400 units plus. So that obviously you've had some bad ones, you had some really really good ones, but it's just interesting to me to find that you may have problems like that, and they're not major. It's just curious.
Mhm.
What
Yeah,
was
I
your worst
mean,
experience?
something like that. Something like that, Larry, I would say, if it comes to the point where you cannot rehab it, it's just that far gone, be open, transparent with the park owner, park manager. I bought this one here by mistake. I'm not asking for a refund, but if we can just avoid the agreement, maybe you just need to go ahead and demo this one. I'll help you bring another one in, get transportation. So there's ways to cure an issue like that instead of just pondering lot rent on something that clearly is not going to be able to be rehabbed.
Right. So we teach trailer
The
park ownership at investor schooling, of course, but and I've have
Mhm.
quite a few students who now own trailer parks. However, the one thing that I did notice or that I did learn is how expensive it is to move a mobile home and set it up. So now if you have this lot rent
Yes.
and the guy says, "Hey, too bad," but he allows you to put a home in. I mean, just that alone is going to cost you 5 or 6 grand just to put the home in. Forget about the price of the home. So have you ever had to reconcile that?
No, I would say the biggest fail I'd have on this one would be buying I bought 7 mobile homes in a market that did not allow for what I was trying to do. That was earlier in my career, and it was more so I was jumping. It was those were old deals are popping in now. It was good. It was that feeling of they're everywhere. Because starting out you think, well, I'll last the investment. Surely nobody was trying to sell. That's how you think. But we bought in a market that we clearly had not done all our due diligence, done all of the homework on. And bottom line, what down to is we took on 7 units, we rehab them, and still to this point, not looking at the numbers, let's put them on the market for X amount as a rent to own or as an option two. So I remember putting them on, I think around 800 a month. Nobody was messaging us, nobody was
Wow.
contacting us, which was weird. It was like, what's happening? So then at this point, we decided, well, let's go look at the market numbers. Again, this was early in our
Sure.
career, and we realized that the rental rates in the area were around 550 or 600.
Oh wow.
Now, the downside to that is that in the same area, the lot rents are 400 to 500 a month. So very
Wow.
high lot rents, but very low rental rates. So in that case, there we had to take a bit of a loss. We ran it as long as we could, and we sold them off. It was just not the right market for that.
Wow. Sure. Sure. Wow. So like I mean, is it just it's I'm thinking about the cabinet sizes and the parts that go in there. Are there special sizes, or you just go to Home Depot and get the off the shelf cabinets?
That's a great question, Larry. So yes, sir, no. If it's a brand new 2020 Fleetwood and whatever it may be, they're making them more like houses now at this point, same size of everything. But the older units, like what we invest in, no. There are special stores that you have to invest out of.
Oh, okay.
That and certain areas do have mobile home stores, but something like a cabinet, like a door, like even a countertop, a bathtub. No, you cannot just go to your local home improvement store and say, "Give me one of those," and expect it fits. It does not. They're a lot smaller. I say people were built smaller back then, maybe, but it's a lot smaller of a space.
I would. It's funny. I'm just thinking about it. I'm going to make a really bad joke here, but I'm thinking about the size of people. The typical size of a person that you would expect living in a mobile home wouldn't be able to get into a small bathtub, and I'll use that as my own little prejudice of people who lives in mobile home parks, right? But I'm sure somebody laughed at that or said, "Shut up, Larry," something like that, right? All right. Anyway, so all right, so that, I mean, so doesn't that make the parts more expensive then?
Which part would be?
Like anything you would buy, a bathtub that have to fit in a mobile park,
Oh,
wouldn't
the
that be more
parts, the
expensive?
parts.
Yeah.
Yes, and we coach people how to do this. So there's ways to get creative. I'll make a quick example. Yeah, if you buy anything specific or anything, of course, it's going to cost you more. So I try to stay away from some certain stores. But if we need a door, for instance, for a mobile home, they're a lot shorter or a lot thinner. You can go to Home Improvement, for instance. Let's just say Home Depot. You get a normal size door and you just cut it to the size to fit. So
Right.
there's ways to get creative without having to buy a specific of something.
Yeah, that's simple. But like cabinets, you can't necessarily do that with, and bathtubs, you can't obviously can't do that with. I mean, a door, door is probably the cheapest of all the things you need to do to repair it. So how does the plumbing work in a mobile home? Is it any different than a normal house?
Not really. Think of almost like an RV camper. I mean, the structure is the same. You pull the mobile home on two, and the mobile home itself has all the plumbing underneath it. It's just as simple as connecting to, the ground.
Okay, so and then the ones that you get, have you ever had any that where the plumbing inside the mobile home has been bad that you had to replace the plumbing?
Oh, sure, sure. Now, to add a little to that question too, is it's a lot simpler than a house. So
I
think
imagine I
about
was
it
going to
almost
ask
like
you
a
exactly.
straight
Sure.
pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a straight pipe running through, and it just heats off to whatever it needs. Oh yeah, we've had mobile homes where they had the old PVC. They've been through winters, and everything is cracking. You fix one, up in those breaks. It's like stop, just redo the entire home with that. I mean, it's one of those issues just going to continue. So we have had to repump an entire mobile home before.
All right, so tell me like the most exciting mobile home park you ever did, or the best one you ever did. Give me a cool story about a mobile home that you did.
Helping out an older lady who wanted out of a mobile home park. It was actually near downtown Atlanta. We ended up wholesaling that mobile home, and we profited over 12,000. She wanted nothing to do with this. She was done
The
with the park.
home or the
Wanted to
home
live with
park?
the daughter.
The
The
home or
mobile
the home
home.
park?
So the mobile, the mobile home.
So you
So
you you
she,
you wholesaled a mobile home and you got $12,000 wholesale fee? Wait, what did you pay for this thing?
I think it was around 3,000 we paid on that unit. That's what she wanted. Again, she wanted to be done with the park. She was current on everything, which is a little shocker. Usually, when somebody wants out so quickly, it's I'm behind on this, I'm behind
Yeah,
on
sure,
that.
sure. I know.
But the
Yeah.
market allowed for us to do it. The market, we could rehab that mobile home and probably in the area sold it for probably 50, 60,000, move-in ready. So
Wow,
the
that's
numbers were
fantastic.
there. We decided to take it. We were too busy at the time with a bunch of deals and thought, well, let's just put it on the market for what others are selling as is, and we profited around 12K.
Wow, that's fantastic. I like that. So you say we? Is it a team that you have?
Oh, sure. Yeah, reps our team.
Okay, great. And you have students that you also teach, correct?
I have taught over 300 students at this time, and we're steady teaching. We
Wow,
have courses,
congratulations.
we have Zoom virtuals throughout the week.
Yeah,
So
you've actually been to our class too, which is fantastic. You did a nice presentation for us, and we appreciated it. We had a couple of people reach out to you too and to want to learn more. Yeah, like I said, we actually I think you actually were introduced to me by one of my students who bought a mobile home, and you reached out to him, which is kind of interesting. So anyway, how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about mobile homes?
absolutely, yeah. I mean, they can visit our website, garciamhu.com. They can email me directly at j@garciamhu.com.
Okay, cool. And when they get there, what are they going to find?
Every opportunity to invest with us.
I love it. I love it.
And to add to Larry is, I like telling people is we are the only mobile home education platform that offers our students their first investment. So yeah, no, definitely check us out.
That's fantastic. So I like what you have to say. I like what you've been doing. I think it's great. I think you definitely have a niche that is amazing. So and what was the name of your book that's coming out eventually? What's it called again?
Trailer Park King.
Trailer Park King. All right. So that's Jose Garcia, and I totally appreciate you being online. I'm sure everybody out here that's watching this really enjoyed it as well. And at this point, we're going to say goodbye to Jose. I appreciate you, and if you guys want to reach out to Jose, please do. I think that would be awesome. All right, I want to thank you all, of course, for watching the show. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is live every morning at 7:30 a.m., and you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And, of course, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can simply go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, and let us know why you want to be interviewed, and we will arrange that. And by the way, we hope you really enjoyed today's interview with Jose Garcia, and we hope you will tune in again. And everybody out there, make it a profitable day.